I pick up my spoon.
Back to the boat, aye.
All right. So you guys make it to Cabel's Hill. Walls about 10 foot high. Surrounds the entire village. You can see the rooftops and some smoke coming up from the rooftops as you're pulling into the dock area that is obviously not walled. And as you're pulling up, a gentleman introduces himself and asks you how long you're going to be staying here. And he kind of looks in your boat and he says, name's Brooklyn Marth. Beautiful boat here, and I don't see you have any goods to trade, or are you here for a pickup? I am the dock master, so I am just sorry for being nosy, but I am just keeping logs of everyone who enters the dock area.
We're just coming in to see what's what here.
That's interesting. We usually don't get many travelers just as a pit stop, but you're more than welcome to. I'm sure you're more than welcome to stay. Your money's as good as anyone else's. We've got if you're looking to buy some grains, we've got grains. If you need blacksmith work, we've got Herg. His name is Herg Plower. He does a lot of great blacksmithy work. If you're looking for goods, Colvin Brennick. He owns Colvin's General Store. If you're needing any kind of food or lodging, check out the Leaky Bucket. And he kind of points up to this path that goes over the hill to where all the other rooftops and stuff that you see. He says, if you want to keep your boat here, it's a silver a day to tie up to the docks.
That won't be necessary.
It won't be necessary? What do you mean? Oh, you're just dropping them off, I see. Okay, not a problem.
No, I get out of the boat and command it. Wonderspoon deactivate.
Wow, he's in amazement. He's never seen that. He says, wow, how did you do that, sir? You're a wizard.
No, just a sailor.
You must be multi-classed wizard / sailor then. / wizard. He's in amazement. He's never seen a boat just fold up before like that.
Maybe you should get out of the little Cabel's Hill a little more often.
I've been here my whole life, sir. All right, adventurers. You're here. Cabel's Hill.
The dockmaster.
Yes,
we've heard you've had some disappearances, some trouble. Who should be talking to about that?
Well, I believe that most of the town is probably up there at the inn. I'm sure you could probably find out more, but just to give you a little rundown, we've had a couple of folks disappear in the last couple of months or so. A couple of folks have gone out to try to find the missing folks. Dave disappeared as well. I'm not into all that hearsay, though. You could probably find out. I've got too much work to do down here at the docks, keeping this place organized and clean and tidy, and make sure that everyone is happy. So I'm sure you could probably go up to the inn and probably find out more information of what you're looking for at the Leaky Bucket. Where are you coming from, anyway? Are you coming from Flan?
Yep.
Okay. He writes everything down in his little ledger, and then he puts it back into a sort of like a thrown over his shoulder like pack that he has. He says, well, anyways, welcome to Cabel's Hill. Hope you enjoy your stay. If you excuse me, I've got work to do.
Go head up towards the town, towards forget the name of the thing you just said, but
the Leaky Bucket.
Leaky Bucket.
Yep. The Leaky Bucket. Yes.
Hey, he might be able to use one of Splug's plugs.
Hey, that's a great
I was
idea.
just thinking the same thing.
We'll have to mention that to them. They could probably use some plugs. Well, but then they'd have to rename the inn.
Could be the corked
one
bucket.
sleeping
The
bucket.
plugged bucket.
Oh, that is good shit. I like it. So as you guys are walking up to, and you guys can see the other establishments. Of course, there's a couple of homes and stuff here, but then you see, you see the smithy. He's out banging on an anvil, and you see there's a like a makeshift stable, and you see the other, the general goods store. There's a bunch of stuff hanging up in the window and whatnot. You get up to the Leaky Bucket. That is such a great name. And the inn sign is pretty much drove down into the ground. And it's a bucket just hanging on like a hook. And it says the Leaky Bucket. And it's got water kind of dripping from it. Because it's, it's rained here recently. So it's got like a little drip to it. It is just an old bucket dangling from a post. The inn is...
I'll rub it as I walk by, and as it probably does nothing. I'm assuming it does nothing.
Oh, the bucket? It does nothing. What do you mean? What are you trying to rub it
No
for good
laughing
luck?
goblin, but
That does nothing. The bucket does nothing. It just kind of swings. Kind of squeaks as it's swinging on the post.
yeah, I'd like to head in.
Yeah, it says Leaky Bucket Inn, and it's all kind of like hand painted on the bucket. Now this is a 2-story building, one of the couple 2-story buildings, and obviously the inn would probably be the 2nd story. And you guys, just before you enter the Leaky Bucket, just as you're fixing to put your hand on the door and swing it open, you can hear quite a few people. They sound excited. A couple of people they sound angry. You can hear some yelling past the door. This is all noise that's coming from inside of the Leaky Bucket. And just as you kind of push the door open a little bit, there's one voice that kind of bellows above everyone's voice. And it says, "It's been over 210 days. What do you plan to do?" And then, of course, everybody's arguing back and forth and whatnot. And as you guys walk in, it's a single large room here at the Leaky Bucket. And there's a couple of really long tables, benches, and this is where everybody sits and drinks and eats. And the inn is totally filled with people. And everybody seems to be talking at once. They're all gesturing and arguing with one another.
Does it look like they're having like a meeting or something, or is this kind of just normal tavern talk?
Sort of a mixture of both, because there wasn't really anybody out kind of walking around within the palisade of Kabel's Hill. But it seems like they're all inside of the Leaky Bucket. So yeah, it does seem like it's like a communal congregation, or of people / maybe a town meeting. But they're all talking at once. That's for sure. They're all arguing with one another and pumping fists at one another. And you can see that there's a male halfling that's standing on one of the benches, and you can hear him saying, "All right, everybody, calm down," being really nice, being gentle, not trying to raise his voice too much, And then beside him, standing up and kind of tugging at his trousers, is a female halfling that's telling everybody to shut up, and she's being a little bit more briskful, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs, and she's got, in one hand, she's got like an empty iron skillet, and in the other hand, she's got like a rolling pin. So she's like ready. So as you guys enter, everybody's yelling, and then all of a sudden, it seems like everybody stops mid-sentence and kind of turns towards you and just kind of stares at you. Maybe it's the initial shock of maybe seeing strangers that hardly ever come into the bucket, you know what I mean? But then as everything, quiets down to where you can hear a pin drop, you can start to hear murmurs and stuff like that start to pick up again.
As it gets quiet, I'm gonna kind of look to my compatriots and just look to the group of townsfolk and say, "You serve food here, right?" And continue my way to a table.
Oh, very nice. So yeah, there's a portion of one of the tables that has a few seats available, and as you say that, the murmurs start to pick up, and then the halfling, the male halfling, he jumps off of the seat, and he walks up to you, and he says, greetings. My name is Hupe Brightbell, and welcome to my wife and I's inn here, the Leaky Bucket. Of course we have food. We have the best food in all of Cabel's Hill. Well, I guess we have the only food in Cabel's Hill, but nonetheless,
the only food then, yeah.
Oh, my wife is an excellent cook. And he greets you guys and gestures you guys over to an empty part of the table, and he says, "Please have a seat." So where are you from, my friends? It's so good to have you as well. Thanks for stopping in. What business do you have here in Cabel's Hill?
I usually don't talk business without some food and drink.
Well, we'll get you squared away
on that first.
We'll get you squared away. And he kind of looks over towards his wife and just kind of nods, and she goes back and brings out a couple of pitchers of ale for all of you guys and some mugs, and brings out a bowl of fruit and some dipping sauces, and puts down a couple of loaves of bread.
I'm going to put 2 gold to his wife, and I'll sneak 1 to him and say, just make sure and keep the drinks and food coming.
Oh, so generous, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anything that you need. My wife, her name is Grinna, and we are the Bright Bells, and anything you need, you just ask, and we'll take care of it for you. And he has a sort of like a fancy waiter that you would see in Paris. He has a bar towel, like a damp bar towel kind of thrown over his arm, and then he takes it off and wipes down all of your seats, and as you guys are taking your seats, and wipes off the table and kind of wrings it out and kind of fluffs it a couple times and then folds it and puts it back over his arm, and his wife brings all the food out, and really nice looking food.
And I'm gonna leave the talking and discussion to them and get some food in my belly.
All right.
You know what, guys? This could make a great new venue for the Spoon the World tour.
With a mouthful, I kind of choke a little bit.
You throw up in your mouth a little bit, Marcus? So you notice, all of these people, they're still talking. They're still, there's been a couple times over the last little bit that you've been here where, things have kind of heated up a little bit, but not like when you first entered, though. What was that, Omi? Thank you for the follow.
I was just going to ask you guys, have any of you seen Mr. Spoony? He was in my pocket here a second ago, but he's gone. I'm worried.
Did you check a little bit lower in your pants? He seemed the type.
I checked. Nope, not
He's
there.
the type. Oh my God, Marcus. Oh God.
It's that big mouth. He just can't help himself.
Those beautiful eyes.
I look over to him as I'm spooning honey from my alchemy jug into my mouth and just kind of like nod my head like I don't know what he's talking about.
Nice. Putting the alchemy jug to use. I like it. What's that, a gallon of honey a day or 2 gallons of honey a day or something like that?
I got a gallon of honey in here. I'm enjoying it.
Hell yeah.
He's sweetening up my mead. That's awesome.
Yeah. Good with your mead, the breads and whatnot. Yeah. So Hupe comes back over with his wife. They bring you guys all kinds of meats and some hams, some mutton, some porridges, and he says, this is what we've got. We're bringing you a little bit of each.
I'll take a healthy portion of everything and just go to town.
It's like Thanksgiving. You just gave them 3 gold between the 2 of them, so they're bringing out everything in the kitchen sink for you. They're bringing out...
That was the hope.
Yeah, they're bringing out salads. They're bringing out vegetables. And this is good stuff.
No. Meat.
No, they have all kind. They have lamb for you. They have duck. There's all kinds of stuff. There's fish. Oh yeah, there's about at least a dozen plates of food around you. I mean, they're sparing no expense with the 3 gold that you just paid them. And Hupes is a. Do you mind if I sit down and join you, my friends? This is get to know you a little bit. You said you were here for some reasons. Maybe I can help you out a little bit. You seem to be.
I'll eyeball
seem to be decent people.
And kind of chin nod a chair that's farther from me but closer to Shin and Dark.
Sure. Yeah. There's one over there. He kind of pulls one up from a couple. I'd say about 10 feet away. There's a chair on the wall. And he kind of pulls it up. He says, "So, we don't usually get many people that come here to Kabel's Hill, and just kind of wondering why you're here. Not trying to be nosy or anything, but you said you were here. You're needing food and whatnot. And usually, food is a good conversation starter. And I hope you enjoy the spread that my wife's made. She's a great cook."
Oh, yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yes. It's probably wise to not sit close to Markesh while he's eating. Leastwise, you'd be missing a digit or two. We sailed up from Plan. We'd heard some rumors that there may be some problems in town, so we thought we would come and check things out.
Yeah, you're the one with the boat that folds up. Wow, that's magical. I've already heard that someone had a folding boat here. That's magic indeed. We've been here for probably about 20 years or so. Don't get down to Flan as much. I mean, sometimes when we need supplies that we can't get here at Colvin's, we usually go down, take a trip down to Flan, usually once every year or so. How long have you been in Flan?
Oh, we've been in Flan for several months now.
Yeah, this food is amazing. This is, the vegetables are great, and plus you guys, as you guys were coming up to Kabel's Hill, you could see some other farmsteads with, just huge stalks of corn and huge watermelons growing out in the fields and whatnot. It's right on the river, so of course the land is fertile, and plus that's where you get a lot of food down in Flan is from up here at Kabel's Hill. So he tells you, Hupe, he says, yeah, there's been some strange things that have been happening around here about it. In fact, let me back up a little bit. It starts about 6 months ago. There was a man, his name was Halvin Grangle, and Halvin, he moved to one of the abandoned farms around here. It had a barn, had a couple of sheds, had some stables. So this Halvin Grangle, he moved in, and it's probably about a few hours walk from here. Of course, if you had a horse, it wouldn't take you that long at all. And he's east of Kabel Hill on the other side of the Stagenau. And a lot of the other farmsteaders around here, they're all in here now. Obviously, every single person in the tavern right now, of course, it's more busier than usual because of what I'm telling you. They live in the surrounding farmsteads. But Halvin, he never was into the communal activities or any of the other meetings that the other farmers would have. They would try to, share irrigation techniques and, all of their different ways that they grew agriculture. And they basically considered him as a hermit. And obviously he had money because when he moved into the farmstead, he did nothing with it. He brought in no livestock. He did no type of agriculture growing at all. So he had money, and that's how he lived. He just with his money. So about a month ago, he had orders to pick up over there at Colvin's General Goods. He didn't pick them up. And he stopped coming to town altogether, because he did come to town once in a while just to get the supplies, like I said. So a few of the villagers, a couple of the farmers, and Colvin, they went over to pay him a visit to see if he was okay and to deliver his goods that he had ordered and stuff. And he was nowhere to be found. But his home still had all of his possessions inside. And when they were inside kind of looking around, and the door was actually kind of propped open a little bit. So they went in and they found a map of the area that I guess that he was mapping out for himself. So the map had a bunch of notes on it, and the notes were fairly vague. But there was a few things that was on this map that kind of actually scared the other villagers of the area of Cabel's Hill. And there were some areas inside of the quivering forest that were labeled. And the one that actually concerned everybody was Greenhall, which is an elven settlement. And it had a direct course to this elvish settlement. Nobody knows where this, first off, and the reason why that's a little scary to the villagers here is because the elves are very secretive in Quivering Forest, and to have a direct path to this settlement is a little unnerving. And so we all kind of agreed that Halvin had been maybe doing some business with the elves, and that's totally forbidden in this area. And he basically tells you is we do not go into the Quivering Forest, and the Quivering Forest does not come here. This is something that's just been the way it has been for many, 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 many generations. You know, there used to be a lot of problems where children would disappear in the middle of the night. There was a treaty that was made many generations ago, and now the elves stay there, we stay here, and it's a mutual thing. So, you know, it's just a little unnerving because, you know, we do have a truce with the Fae, but Halvin, if he's breaking this truce, then problems could start happening again, and that's what we do not want. So we decided we wanted to follow this up a little bit more. So we decided to seek out one of the rangers of the area, Cerulus Greenleaf, and he is a half-elf, and he lives here locally in the area. He's a guide, but even Cerulus didn't even want to get involved with this, and he actually insisted that they, if they sent anybody into the forest, including himself, that they would probably not come back out. And that was 10 days ago. And we've not heard from Cerulus, or we haven't even heard from Halvin since. But of course, Cerulus, you know, is always probably tracking or guiding other parties, or, you know, adventuring parties or whatnot. So, but we haven't heard from either of them. So that is the conundrum that Cabel's Hill is in right now.
Interesting story. So, did anyone tell Halvin that of this treaty between Kabel Hill and the elves, the Fae?
That I don't know. I'm sure that probably somebody had probably mentioned it to him. But Halvin, he was alone. He didn't have a wife. He didn't have any children. He did not have any servants or workers. It was just him. Which was actually kind of odd to begin with, because, you know, he took over the farmstead. We thought that there was going to be agriculture produced, but we were thinking, okay, maybe he's going to bring in some hired hands or something, but that just never happened, and he never did anything with the farm. And that, you know, like I said, that went on for almost 6 months.
I assume everybody else at the table heard the story. Anybody have any questions?
Marcus is just leaning back, like after Thanksgiving meal, like, oh.
I do. Just kidding.
So how do you think we can help you here with this little problem you have going?
Well, that's just as you asked that, one of the other patrons inside of the leaky bucket comes over and slams his fist down on the table, and you can definitely smell the alcohol coming off of his breath. He says, "Those damn fairies! They're killing my cows! Damn their eyes, and I'm gonna rip their wings right off of their bodies!"
I'm gonna put my spoon over near him and be like, "Here, man, have some honey for that breath."
Oh, well, thanks. I think I will. Oh, wow. Honey. Haven't had honey around here in a long time. Thanks. But damn those damn fairies. Rip the wings off of them. They killed 2 of my prized cows. My 2 best milkers. Ah!
They killed 2 of your cows.
Well, of course they did. If you don't believe me, you can come and take a look for yourself. They're still out there. Can't even butcher the damn things up.
It's murder, I tell you.
I throw up a little bit.
So what do you think, guys? Well,
Fairies, they're a tough business.
we might have to roll Marquez out of here, but
What's in
we
that
could go
for
check
us,
this out.
Master Farmer?
Well, I'm sure that the town will probably take care of you. As for me, I'm out of this. I'm just kind of filling in what would probably happen. Now, you do notice that a couple of the other villagers and farm sitters are kind of coming around your table, but Omi, it seems like they're staying away from you, and they keep looking at you, and they keep looking at like the side of your head. It's like they keep looking at your ears. Because you are a half-elf, you know what I mean?
Guys, do I have a zit on my face or something?
No, man, it's always that ugly.
One of the guys just kind of says, we're just paying our proper respect to the Fae, that's all, my friends.
The Fae?
Well, you are elvish, right? You are that means that you're a creature of the Fae. You're a creature of the forest.
Oh, yeah.
So it seems like they're all giving you like a wide berth, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I spend so much time in Flan among humans, I forget about my elven blood sometimes.
Coop's wife comes over, Grinna, and she kind of shoos away all of the rabble around your table. And she tells everybody to get lost and get back to your tables or go home, or, Sam, you've had too much to drink, you need to go home, and so, you've had too much to drink. And she tells you guys that you're more than welcome to stay here at the Leaky Bucket. And she says, it's on us. You don't have to worry about it. You've already done so much already. And my husband will show you to your room. We only have one room available, and it's basically the entire top floor. So we'll give you that. And Cube says, "Well, I will kind of start the pot for you guys. This is I'm willing to, if you can find out what's going on here. We'll be willing to. My wife and I." We'll be able to give you 50 gold, but I'm sure the other farmers of the year, I'm sure they'll probably chip in something as well.
Are you sure you only have the one room? Because my friend here, Markesh, ate a lot of food, and you can't believe what kind of gas he gets.
Yeah, unfortunately, unless we were to give you our sleeping quarters, and then Hupe's wife, Grinna, she just hits him and says, "Don't even do it." And he says, "Well, no." Like he was going to offer you his room as well, but Grinna put a stop to that really quick. But he says he can offer 50 gold.
Payment's payment, boys. We get food, we get a place to stay, plenty of drink, and payment. I say it's a good day.
Yeah. And another farmer, he introduces himself. He says he'll throw in 50 gold as well, so the total's up to 100. And it looks like a lot of the
cows out in the morning. Or are we going to do it tonight yet?
It's late afternoon, early evening. The sun is just starting to go down, so you can wait till the morning if you'd like to.
Got time to check them out.
Sure. What you wanted? You can check out the rest of the village, or check what
cows.
out. Oh, the cows. Sure. Yeah, you can go over there. Absolutely.
Yeah, we better check that out.
I'll ask the farmer to lead us to these supposedly fairy-killed cows.
Okay.
Before we leave, where was the ranger last seen again? And where's this other guy's farm that's never actually been used as a farm?
Yeah, the ranger, his name is Cyrillus. He lives close to Kabel's Hill as well. The farmer with the dead cows, he lives close, so you can get there just as the sun's going down, and you could get back. So you want to go check out the cows, and what else do you want to do?
You want to try and check out that ranger or no?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good thing to ask him some questions too, and check out that farm, because it's kind of suspect that he never actually farmed and he lived there for 6 months.
I think we try and check out the cows, the ranger, and then make it back to town for bed. We can go check out that.
So you know that there is a Halvin Grangle and his farm. You have that. You have the livestock deaths. You have Cyrillus, the ranger. He supposedly knows the quivering forest like the back of his hand. Or you might be able to just venture right into the quivering forest. So what do you guys think? Is his wife is kind of shooing everyone off?
I'm going to ask the cow farmer. I'm just going to be like, hey, what would you say your name was again? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
My name is Jarl. Jarl with a G. I guess you could kind of say Garl, but it's Jarl. Garl.
Okay, Garl, got it.
Yes. Jarl. Hey, look, man, I've answered to worse. All I know is if there's any fairies on my property, I'm pulling their damn wings off. No offense, Mr. Elf, as he kind of looks over towards Omi.
Oh, I won't take any offense to that. Now, I hope no spoons are harmed during this little escapade, though. That I might have a problem with.
Spoons? The hell are you talking about?
Oh yeah, I see you don't have one of my T-shirts yet. Here you go. I think I got one big enough for you.
What the hell is a spoon? The world tour? What the hell does that mean? I don't even think I want to know. Oh, this will be a good. It looks like this will be a good oil rag.
Oil rag? Nah. Wear that.
Better latrine cloth.
Give this to my wife to clean the dishes. Spoon the world.
Yeah, if you're in Flan sometime, come by and see me at the Laughing Goblin. It'll be a show unlike any you'll ever remember.
He just kind of shakes his head and says, elves. Gotta watch those creatures of the fae as he kind of walks off. Old Jarl. So what do you think, adventurers? Grinna's shooed a lot of people out of out of your way. You know what I mean?
I believe we were headed to investigate the cow murders, wasn't it?
Yep, let's show us these dead cows.
Okay. So as you guys are kind of finishing up your food, which is actually would be pretty good food, all of a sudden you guys hear it is kind of settling down and getting a little quiet, and then all of a sudden there is the silence is shattered by a scream of terror. And a heartbeat later, there is a woman, one of the patrons that was inside of the leaky bucket that had left. She burst back in through the doors of the tavern, and she starts screaming, "They know! They know! The Fae, they know what we did!" And she's crying and throwing herself at Grinna's feet, which Grinna is, of course, the wife. And they know what we did. She threw herself at Grinna's feet, and she's kind of like clawing at her clothes a little bit, not trying to pull them off or anything like that. And she's pointing outside of the door. She says, "Oh, poor Rourke. Poor Rourke. He's outside." And then she kind of collapses, and kind of faints. And then everybody in the room is all pushing and shoving to see who can get outside first. And you guys see this going on.
Maybe we should go check out what's going on out there.
I'll follow Dark out.
Yeah, me as well.
All right, so whoever's going outside, you guys are pushing your way through. You're wrestling your way through the throng of all of the villagers and stuff. You can hear them crying out and, shouting obscenities and stuff. And you can hear a couple praying to the gods for protection. So I'm not doing anything at all. And there's about 24 or so people that are trying to get outside. Now, as you get outside in the central area of the town, on a post, there is a man that is an adult male. He's hanging from the post, and you can see that. I mean, he's facing right towards the leaky bucket, and he's got blood streaming from his eyes, from his mouth. And you hear a couple people say, "Oh, poor Rourke," which Rourke is the person that's up on the post, R-E-R-K. And man, he's one of the local farmers. He goes, "Oh, he was such a nice guy," and you hear a couple people saying that he was one of the 6 men that ventured into the quivering forest looking for this Halvin guy, and he's back up on the post. And a couple of things is you notice that there is a note that's on him. And it's literally got a long ass pin that's stuck to the inside of his stomach area. Stomach/chest.
Is he dead or is he squirming?
No, he's definitely not squirming, that's for sure.
Shen, can you do anything for him?
First thing we need to do is cut him down, I guess. Is he has he been crucified, or is he hanging by the neck? How's he hanging from a post?
Yeah, he's definitely he's hanging. He's not breathing, that's for sure. All right, so you get up to him, and all of a sudden, as you're kind of pulling him down, you see him kind of twitch a little bit. And then you see him take a really, really shallow breath. And that would be you, Shen.
I will attempt to stabilize him.
All right.
See if I can keep him from dying. Let's
sure.
Cast a cantrip, spare the dying.
Well, he's not unconscious, so you don't have to use that. But you can do two things. You can do a medicine check, or if you want to use a charge one of your medical kits, you can do that. And as you're giving him the once-over, Shen, as you're opening up his eyes and checking for pulses and stuff, you notice the reason why blood's coming down, it looks like his eyes have been plucked out. And a couple of black polished stones have been put into his eye sockets. And it looks like they're just solid black eyes. Ugh.
Sounds a mite aggressive. I will give him
There's
a
a little
medicine check.
symbol as well on him too. Sure, you are. You're successful. You get the pin that's in his stomach/chest area. You get this thing pulled out, and of course, you can feel him kind of twitching as you're pulling it out, and but you get it pulled out. He's still breathing. It doesn't seem like it killed him. It doesn't seem like it pierced any major arteries or organs or anything like that. And it's just it's like a note. So you can read the notes, or I can put it, I can give it to you privately, or I can put it publicly.
Well, I think while I was trying to stabilize the guy, I wouldn't be really interested in reading the note at that particular moment. I would probably palm it and stick it in my pocket.
Sure thing. Sure thing. Yeah, but you notice that his eyes have been taken out, that's for sure. And that pin is damn near almost a foot long. And that thing was like all the way through him just about.
Am I able to get him stabilized so that he's at least stable?
Sure thing. Yeah, with your check, yeah. You get the pin out, you get him stabilized, and it seems like he's starting to breathe a little bit better now.
Is he able to talk?
No. No, he's definitely out of it right now.
Hey, was that his wife that came in that was screaming?
No, definitely not his wife. But what you could do, you could give him a healing spell, because it does look like he's suffered quite a bit of trauma or damage. But he just is breathing. I mean, that's it. He's definitely stable though. But it looks like he's definitely had quite a bit of injuries that have been dealt to him.
All right. Yeah, I'll cast Cure Light or Cure Wounds on him.
Okay. When you pull the pin out of him, he comes to, sort of like as you shocked him with a couple of paddles, you know what I mean? On the operating table. Clear! And he sits up and he says, it was the witch! It was the witch! And he screams it. And then he says, my eyes! And blood is still kind of trickling down his eyes. And then he just kind of passes out. And of course he, a scream of terror, and then he just passes out. Seems like he just went into shock. No check needed for that.
Well, I will kind of motion for somebody from the crowd to come over and take over my actions on him. He's stable. He's going to be all right. He's going to live. He's going to be blind because his eyes are gone. And then pull out and read over the note.
Sure thing. This is what the note says. And like I said, there were some symbols on those black stones that were put into his eye sockets.
Do I recognize the symbols?
You do not. But maybe someone around there would.
I'll ask Gomi.
Or you could take one out and bring it with you.
Hey, bring me a spoon.
Oh, sure thing, Shen. Here you go.
Heidi ho! You gotta use Mr. Spoonie to pull out a goddamn eye.
Are you sure you're up for this, Mr. Spoonie?
Do I have a choice?
It'll be okay.
Do I really have a choice? Okay, you get the black stone out. Sort of like a symbol, like a rune, like a sigil.
So I will show the party the note that I got, or actually I'll read a note. He had a note on him that was stuck to that pin that was going through his chest.
Foot-long pin, by the way. That's crazy.
Yeah, it says Cabel's Hill honors the long-standing truce between the people of Flan and the people of the Quivering Forest. We seek only to retrieve a lost friend who does not fully understand what his trespasses signify.
Yeah, and one of the villagers of Cabel's hears you reading that, and he comes over and he goes, "Oh, that's the note that we gave to all 6 of the individuals that went into the forest, just in case they did get captured. This is exactly what we were trying to tell the Fae, because this Halvin has ventured into the Quivering Forest. I don't think he really knows the consequences, and that we're not supposed to trespass. So, of course, yes, we were trespassing going into the forest to try to find him, but we wanted to let the Fae know, in case that they were encountered, in case they were encountering any Fae, that we're in there trying to find someone to get him out. But obviously, poor work, that didn't matter. The Fae did this to him anyway. Those damn pixies."
I'll ask the individual that came over to explain the note. Tell him that he screamed the witch. The witch did this to him. Who is this witch?
That's the witch, huh? How do we know that it's the witch? Another villager comes over and has the other eye, has the other black gemstone. And he says, "Look, it's the sigil of Jenny. The sigil of Jenny Greenteeth." And he says, "Oh, this is the worst thing that could have possibly happened." And the 2 villagers, they tell you that this is the personal sigil of Jenny Greenteeth. And she's a hag. She lives in the nearby Quivering Forest. And they tell you that she eats children. Well, it's rumored that she eats children. She has the ability and the magic to make crops die, to kill cows, etc. And you guys can do a history check now that he's actually said Jenny Greenteeth. Give me a history check. And that bone pin, by the way, is probably worth about 50 gold, if that matters at all. Now, Darganoth, you remember the name Jenny Greenteeth and her being a hag. She was actually, and now that, they've mentioned this pact with the Fae and stuff, you know exactly what they're talking about. And you remember reading in a book somewhere, maybe at the library or something, at Pottle Plaza, that Jenny Greenteeth was one of the Fae who actually signed the pact between the Fae of the Quivering Forest and the villagers here at Cabel's Hill. So she was one of the original treaty, one of the folks that signed the treaty. Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, I just remembered this hag is one of the original signers of this pact.
Sorry guys, I'm eating in front of you, but I haven't ate all day.
So what do you know about this pact, Darganeth?
Pretty much what I've already I've already said he can, tell you guys that.
Okay.
Basically, it's so the Fae don't interrupt in Kabel Hill's affairs. The hill, they don't go into the forest, stuff like that. Like a mutual agreement.
I'm standing in the doorway of the inn. I waited for everyone to clear out, and then I'm looking at everyone doing whatever they're doing in the middle of town.
Yep, they're all cleared out now.
You broke your treaty. It's no matter. It's lucky he left with his life, let alone he only lost a couple of eyeballs.
Sounds like this hag might be the one responsible for the wildlife too.
Wow, yeah, hags have been known, depending on the type of hag. They're not great people.
Now I'm starting to wonder what this new guy that just got this farm but wasn't farming it, what was his real purpose here?
And especially, I was one of the ones that went over to his home. I mean, we didn't really look around. We just found that map on his table, and that was it. And then that kind of startled us, and we came back here. But he has a direct path on how to find the elves. I mean, that actually concerned us.
I feel like he had some other motives for buying this property.
That's possible. I mean, it's possible. And, that's why we tried to get the help of Ceralis, and we showed him the map, and he didn't want anything to do with it.
With everything we know now, I'd say we know how the cows died. Maybe the best course of action is to go try to figure out the motives of this farm owner, Halvin.
Yeah. Yeah, and, and a couple other people, they join in, and they also say, I told you that damn Halvin was up to no good. Especially seeing that he wasn't cultivating the land or producing any kind of cheese or milk with livestock that he had plenty of pens there for. I knew that he was up to no good. And now our villagers are starting to die because of him.
Well, we don't know what he was up to yet, but it's worth checking out.
I think it would be as well. I'll throw in 50 gold. And you hear a couple more of the villagers say they'll throw in 50 gold, they'll throw in 50 gold, I'll throw in 50. So now it's up to 250 gold now.
What do you guys say? Say we can bypass checking out these cows and go check out this farm and try to find this ranger?
That sounds good to me.
Good to me.
Garl says Garl's there as well, and Garl says that it doesn't look like his cows were hacked to death. It seemed like it was some type of rotting disease or something.
So you would agree that it's probably a hag?
It could have been, yeah. Now that you mentioned the hag, yeah, it's not like a hunter killed him, any kind of skilled marksman.
Is it too late to go? Should we tackle this tomorrow morning? Or should we go tonight?
Well, you can go whenever you want to. Hupe says you're more than welcome to stay and have dinner again and drinks, and you're more than welcome to leave in the morning, and they will, as long as you're here, and as long as you're here trying to find out what's going on and investigating everything that's going here in Kabel Hill, he says the room is yours for as long as it takes.
I say we go in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I don't see well at night.
Yeah, let's go have a few more drinks and then head out in the morning.
Okay. A couple of the villagers, they basically get Rourke and put him on a little gurney, I guess, and they kind of take him off into one of the other farmsteaders' homes, and they say that they'll take care of him. But although he is unconscious, it looks like he went into some type of coma, shock or something like that. And couple of the villagers, they go back into the leaky bucket, but most everybody, they kind of go back to their homes. They get onto their horses or they get into their wagons, and they seems like they're starting to leave Kabel's. But the sun, by this point, the sun is now going down.
Yeah, let's bunker on for the night.
Okay. So you guys want to take care of anything else for the night, for tonight?
I've got nothing.
I don't have anything either.
I think we'll get some rest and then head out in the morning.
All right. Darg? Just wait till morning?
Yeah, I think I'm good for morning unless I can find some way to see in the dark.
Get some goggles, man. You get some money, you'll be able to buy some of those goggles.
The goggles are super sweet.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so we've got a pot that's up to 250 gold. You've got both the bright bells of the leaky bucket. They're giving you 50, and then you have 4 other farm setters. They're chipping in 50 as well to put up to 250. So we'll go ahead and we'll put that on the side as a reward. You have this pin that is from the witch, this foot-long pin that's worth about 50 gold. So you can sell that if you want. One of the other villagers will buy it for you, buy it from you for 50 gold if you want to sell it.
I don't have any need for it. Does anybody else want it?
I say we get the gold.
No.
Yeah, just sell it.
Okay. We'll divide that up. You guys will get, looks like 13 apiece. And then we have 250 for later. And that's where we'll go ahead and we'll end it for tonight. Now, you guys you could still go to investigate the livestock deaths if you want to in the morning. Or I know you guys mentioned you wanted to go to Halvin Grangle's barn. And then you can also try to find that ranger too, that Cerulus ranger. Or if you just want to go into the Quivering Forest, you can do that. Got lots of options.
Sounds good.
All right, so that's where we'll stop.